Our subject this morning is church in your home. When Paramahansa Yogananda, founder of self-realization, established the work in America, in the Articles of Incorporation were these, especially this particular tenet, to establish in every home in the United States, and even throughout the world, a little room for quiet and meditation, a temple where devotees can meditate in an effort to establish oneness with cosmic consciousness or God the Father, which is the goal of life. So in these few words, we can see the importance of establishing a little church or a little room where one can, with definite effort, try to make that contact with God and realize that that is our goal and that's what we are and that's what we're here for, to know our oneness with God. Now, occasional church services are not enough, but they must be augmented by daily contact with God, because the insecurity of this outward existence is so deeply ingrained in this physical consciousness that unless we do that, we will not escape it. We will not escape the delusion and its insecurity. That you can realize. And so occasional services like these, and like the meditation services which we have at the SRF retreat in Encinitas and in Hollywood, they give us the inspiration, because everyone who comes with sincere heart feels the presence of God. But that presence will leave unless I regularly keep the contact by meeting God in that little temple in our own home. It is absolutely essential. How long has Christianity been among us, and how long has it been a failure? We cannot deny that. Why? Because not enough people have a little church in their own home where they can put into practice the principles of Christianity and all true religions and contact God. That's why it has failed. Now, we do not want to fail. We want to succeed and realize our oneness with God. Master has said these wonderful words. And if you will just remember these words from this talk this morning, you will have everything you need. He says this, the sense of security. Listen carefully. The sense of security and inner assurance we crave are a natural result of meditation and God communion. Can it be any clearer? We do not feel secure in this outward consciousness. We do not have that inner assurance. Why? Because there's no inner assurance and no security in it. The security is in God. And we have the ability, by concentrating upon Him, as the Master has said, a natural result of concentration and meditation, which gives God communion. And here we're looking and being sidetracked by the power of delusion and iniquity, the evil force in this world, to look outside and to listen to all sorts of things that come from outside and not to go within and find God. That's why we have trouble. That's why people are in trouble. Instead of listening to God within, they listen to outside things and worldly things. There's the answer. So let us remember these words of the Master once more. A sense of security. Don't we all want that? An inner assurance. If we can but know God is with us and feel His presence, we'll have all the assurance we need. And that those things which we crave are a natural result of meditation in this little room, this little church in your home, which will give you God communion. Those are most wonderful words. Remember those few words if you forget all else. Why is this so? Because the soul craves union. It craves union with God. When you get discouraged and are assailed on all sides by problems and troubles, and your soul cries out for what? For union with God where there are no troubles, and where there is security and assurance that He is with us, no one can stand against us. That's why this is so. That's why the Master's words are so wonderful, because the soul craves one thing: union with God the Father, union with cosmic consciousness, union with the great spiritual Son of righteousness from which we have come, of which we are a ray. Let us realize that. That's why the church in the home is necessary, and that's why we should enter it every day. Yes, more often if possible. Now, our Master has also written words to this effect when he says that the benefit of daily worship cannot be overestimated. Seldom do men realize how often God responds to prayer when it is given by a devotee who really trusts God. These are also most wonderful words. The benefit of daily worship cannot be overestimated. Seldom do men realize how God heeds prayers. He is not partial to a few. Thank God for that. He is not partial to who you know or so forth. He is not partial, but He does, as the Master says, He listens to everyone who approaches Him trustingly. How simple, but how true. So let us realize that prayer is not wasted. If it is done scientifically and with a true and contrite heart trusting in God, then prayer is a reality. And how to do that? Know His presence. Know the presence of God within. Be one with that. And you can do it easily by hearing the great sound of His voice within you, the holy vibration, or seeing the great light of His cosmic light, or feeling in your heart His great love. If you do any of those things, or all if possible, there you have God with you. Surely He will answer. As Master has said, I often repeat, and I never get tired of repeating it, God loves us so wonderfully and silently, more than we can imagine, and through His devotee. I think we need a little church in our home, and we need to enter it every day. These meetings, as this one, and other gatherings are wonderful, because through united effort there is much more power. I realize that. But the sad thing is, but it is the law, that unless you augment it with daily contact with God, you lose it. You lose the touch which God gives you. So let us not forget that it is absolutely necessary to have that little church in your home and to enter it and to worship and contact God. Jesus said, What? Seek first the kingdom of heaven? Don't you think that means daily? Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all things shall be added unto you. All things that you need. Master said the same thing to me one time, and I had never forgotten it. As usual, I was in trouble, as I always was most of the time in my earlier days. And I came to him with a big problem. And I was ruffled, and I didn't seem to stir him up much. And so he comforted me, and he said it'll be better, and it was.